I want to move to Sanam Arora ji. Being a young woman in a field which of active leadership in so many ways that you are, what kind of participation do you see from women within your field, or what do you portray women should do to be involved in active leadership and politics beyond that?
That Rishika is a very interesting question. So I lead two lives, right? One is my day life where I'm in investment management and wealth management. One is the leadership, the youth leadership life. And there have been many instances where, regardless of which of my two lives I'm in, so say whether I'm in the educational youth development political field, or sometimes whether I'm in the banking side in wealth management and asset management, I can recall countless instances where I walked into a room and there's 40, 50 middle aged white or brown men sitting, and I'm the only female. And I'm only the young person there, someone, and the average age in the room is about twice or 2.5 or 3 times my age. And I'm the only female there. I'm going, you're talking about youth development? Where is the youth? You're talking about students? Where are the students? You're talking about getting young people to save more money so they can, develop the economy, etc., and ring fence an investment cycle. Where are the young people? And as I've sort of gone through this journey of, in various circumstances, getting a sight of what's wrong, there's no seat at the table, or there hardly has been a seat at the table. And there's a lot of good stuff being said in the world now about getting women that seat at the table and bringing women to the forefront, etc., and talking about women's empowerment. And I'm like, women are pretty empowered already, right? It's you who needs to recognize what their real place in society is. And feminism, for example, has become this rather misused word. And people will often use terms like feminazi for feminism, for example. And I'm sat there going, no, it's just humanity, and what you need to develop is a sense of humanity and a sense of equality. So if there's any young woman sitting out there listening to me at the moment, and actually for all the men out there, to me, women's role in politics, women's role in development and society is no different to a man's role. It just needs to be given the same importance. And that importance, as much as it comes from the males, it comes from the women themselves. And, if we look around, Margaret Thatcher actually once very popularly said, she was obviously a former British Prime Minister and credited with a lot of Britain's transformation. She famously once said, if you want something to be done, give it to a woman, right? Women are doers by design. So if there are people out there listening to this, I think the one thing to remember is that females get things done. Females naturally are better multitaskers, right? And look at your mums at homes, or mums with jobs who are managing so much together, and just look at the women around you, right? They're naturally better at doing a lot of things than men are. Obviously, men and women have our own strengths and sort of accomplishments that go alongside that. But women need to recognize their own strength. We are not here to ask to be given that opportunity. We are here to take it. That seat at that table is ours as much as it is another person's. And sometimes we find, I've observed this many a time in young girls, young students, young people entering the finance industry, young women, they have a sense of self confusion. And why do I use that word? I use that word because they're not always sure that they can do what's being asked of them. They know everything. I have been in situations where, there are 20 people sitting down there, 10 women, 10 men, young people, a question has been asked of them or a problem has been given to them to solve. The immediate hand that goes up is that of the guys. The girls don't raise their hands. And I know for a fact, having been in that situation, that the girls know the answer, but they're just not sure enough that they'll be able to put the answer out there. The males, on the other hand, no offense to all the males out there and on this panel, often don't know the answer, but they have conviction that they will figure the answer out. In Britain, we say we'll wing it. They have the conviction that they'll wing it, and often they do. And that to me is just natural. You don't always need to know the answer. You just need to have enough confidence that you'll work it out. We women tend to be a bit more shy and a bit more not open about saying what we feel and saying what we truly think, actually we don't need to have that sort of confusion or not, low levels of confidence. It is about recognizing the strength within us, and the strength within us is we can do anything we want. And just look at the people around, man. Look at Indira Gandhi, right? First female prime minister of India. Whatever may be said politically, put that aside, but look at her journey and look at the guts she had to do some of the things she did, right? If we take 1% of those guts and put them in us, the world is our oyster. Look at, in Israel, who are, when the missions were being launched recently, right? You looked at the room. How many women did you spot in that room? How many women right at the top, wearing their saris, wearing their bindis, did you spot? It is very possible to do everything we want to do without compromising on what may be deemed as cultural values, what may be deemed as social values, and actually finding a really happy balance. And Indian women don't need empowerment. Indian women just need to develop confidence that everything that a man can do, they can do better.
Thank you so much. You have somewhere inspired me sitting here, hosting this session too. And for our viewers, मैं आपकी 2 लाइनें बस हिंदी में फिर से बताना चाहती हूँ कि सनम जी ने बड़ी सही तरीके से ये कहा है कि हमें इक्वालिटी की जरूरत नहीं है। जहां एक सीट पड़ी है तो वो सीट आदमी की उतनी ही है जितनी औरत की है। कमी है तो कई सारी औरतों में उस कॉन्फिडेंस की। इन्होंने बड़ी अच्छी तरीके से इंदिरा गांधी जी की बात की और उनके कॉन्फिडेंस को सलामी देते हुए वो बताती है कि बस हमें महिलाओं को हमारे अंदर वो कॉन्फिडेंस को ढूंढने की जरूरत है। बहुत बार आदमी भले ही खड़े हो जाते हैं कोई आंसर देने के लिए, पर शायद उनको आंसर मालूम भी नहीं रहता है, जबकि महिलाओं को वो आंसर मालूम रहता है, फिर भी वो बोल नहीं पाती हैं। सो लेट्स ऑल टुगेदर फाइंड दैट कॉन्फिडेंस एंड बूस्ट द कॉन्फिडेंस विद इन फीमेल्स